welcome to the introduction to the AutoRAE 2 Cradle for ToxiRae Pro. We happen to be looking at the PID derivative in this particular circumstance, so we will be using isobutylene as our standard calibration gas. Operationally, most of the cradles look very similar, and there is another how-to on the multi-RAE cradle system. They interface in very similar ways. So in terms of our exhaust and our gas inputs 1 and 2 on the side of this instrument, the USB communications for PC, we've got the power in on this side. This section will unplug and you can actually add it to an AutoRAE controller system if you want something a little bit larger, and then equally you can daisy chain further docks on here if you have multiple instrument types. But for our purposes, we're just looking at the ToxiRae cradle. Thing to be aware of here is because there are different derivatives of the ToxiRae, there are different adapters that fit into this section. This happens to be the adapter that's fitted for the ToxiRae Pro PID. So if I just pop that back into position, you can change these around for different units if you were looking at different setups. The important thing to always make sure is that the gas settings have been set correctly on the cradle as per the device you're calibrating it with. So in this case we're looking at 100 parts per million of isobutylene, so I'm going to apply an on-demand regulator into gas port 1 on the side of this instrument, and then basically this will just pull what it needs. So when I apply an instrument, it's usually in an off position, and then we click the unit down, it'll lock, charge status, and then we should get some flashing lights as it initiates the system. At this point I will point out there is an external filter at this point, which is for our airflow out. So we can see we're getting the 2 orange flashing lights to let us know that the unit is being warmed up and communications are being inferred. At the end of that period I'll be asked whether I want to bump or to calibrate the device. So we can now see the 2 green lights and we're now ready to either bump or calibrate. So again, just simply press the bump button and release. It takes a couple of seconds for the unit to acknowledge that you put it into a bump test, but you'll see now it's flashing just the green light for bump test. What some people do is they tend to over press that button because they're not expecting to wait any time. If you press it again, it will cancel the bump test, so it will stop operation on the bump test. So it's important just to press and release, and within 2 or 3 seconds you should see it starts its bump test. So we're getting a green flashing light through this period. If that goes to solid green at the end of that, that will let us know that it has passed the bump test. If it fails the bump test for some reason, it will move into a calibration state. So we can see that that bump test has been failed. Now that's due to the fact that the instrument itself has been set for 10 parts per million on the bump test. So now it's automatically going into a calibration loop. And we can see that unit has actually failed calibration. So if we remove the dock, we can get a report on what we've failed. So we can see it's failed on the span calibration in this particular instance, and also the bump test. So we can select our span calibration and see what sensor it's failed on and why. This happens to be because it's actually set to 10 parts per million rather than 100 ppm. For our example, this is absolutely fine, but if you were to do this, then you'd have to change the calibration and measurement mode. So we can return to normal measurement mode, and then we're into normal operations. If you'd like to look at the operation of the ToxiRae Pro itself in some more detail and a manual calibration, we can look at that in a further video. There's another one on our YouTube channel. But hopefully that gives you a good idea of the operational functionality of the AutoRAE. Alternatively, you can go and visit our website at www.safetymonitors.co.uk, or do give us a call on 01489 890 458 between 9 and 5 Monday to Friday, or outside of normal working hours, please do give us a call on 07951 854 824. We're here when you need us, and we understand that the normal 9 to 5 day doesn't always apply. So please do feel free to give us a call. Thanks for visiting, and we hope to see you again soon.